Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Lou. If you're new, welcome to my channel. If you guys like what you see, which I know you will, please make sure you press the subscribe button that's down below, as well as the bell notification, so you guys are notified every single time that I post a new video. I really need to find a new intro because the intro would be so freaking long for no reason. But welcome back to another video. This is gonna be another, like, I guess you can say like a business tip type of video. As you guys can see by the title, I'm not sure what I'm gonna title it yet, but it's probably gonna be somewhere along those lines. It's gonna be kind of like a versus type of videos. Why choose drop shipping versus having hair on hand? Again, most of these videos stems from questions that I get from like my subbies that comment down below, or just people that message me through my DMs and stuff like that, and I really thought this would be a good video to make. But today I kind of just wanted to talk just a little bit about the difference between drop shipping and also the difference between having hair on hand. Now right now I kind of do both, so but I'm gonna explain to you guys why. If you guys are in like the hair industry, you guys should already know what it means to have hair on hand and stuff like that. But I kind of just wanted to go through them and just tell you guys, like, I guess you could say the pros and the cons of having hair on hand or just doing the drop shipping method. Now hair on hand, you definitely are going to need some capital to buy that inventory. So depending on how many units or how many wigs or like bundles and stuff like that you're gonna start off with, you're going to need inventory up front. Like, you're gonna need the money to purchase the large amount of inventory that you are going to order. So, and the second thing is I already kind of touched base on it, is having a large inventory. Now if you're just starting off, I wouldn't say that for you to basically go ahead and just order hella a large amount of inventory and stuff like that. To me, that's not really smart. I mean, to each his own. Someone can just go out there and purchase a large inventory and they go ahead and sell out. Like, this is very subjective, but me personally, I'm talking about me, I personally wouldn't go ahead and upfront order a large sum of inventory, because you're gonna have a large sum of inventory just sitting there, especially if you just are trying to build out your clientele and stuff like that. So the third thing is, you don't know what sizes or lengths and stuff that the customers are looking for, and this is very important, because when it does come to having hair on hand, you need to buy the inventory. And in this case, if you are purchasing wigs, you're gonna need to know what size wigs that you need, and how are you gonna be able to predict, or not even predict, how are you gonna know a really good rough estimate of how many of what size for you to get if you don't already have a consistent clientele that you're able to basically ballpark, okay, I need X amount of small wigs, X amount of medium wigs, and X amount of large wigs. Now for me, like I said, it's gonna be a little bit different for me, because I already been in the hair industry type for a little while now. So me personally, since I have a stable type of customer base, I kind of can peep what type of wig size sells the most, which for me is mediums, and then it's smalls, and then it's large. But this could very much differ for you, but that's just how mine's is. Also, another thing that I would personally do if I am if you do want to keep hair on hand, start off that way, I would say go ahead and ask your customers. Honestly, whatever it is you're trying to do, just go ahead and ask your customers, because they're going to tell you exactly what they want or what they're looking for. So most of the time I'll probably put a poll on exactly what size wig caps majority of people are, and then they go ahead and put their votes, and then I'll be able to get a rough estimate of what sizes my client base is off, and then I'll use that as kind of a chart of how many wigs and what the wig size that I will personally buy to keep inventory on hand with, because I know that is going to be the popular amongst my followers and customers and stuff like that. And then lastly is, you may get into the hair industry excited and stuff like that, and you get into it with a whole bunch of a large sum of inventory, and you decide not to do it anymore. And you'd be amazed on how many times that happen. A lot of people think oh my god, they see the final result of people that have been putting in the work, and they see the flashy things, or they see you getting a lot of orders and stuff like that, and they just want to jump into this industry and stuff like that. But what they don't know is all the but they don't want to put any of the hard work behind it. They don't want to I guess you could say, stay down until it's their turn to, like, until this their time, or you simply just don't like that the hair initially like that, like you thought you did, which is perfectly okay. But you just got to keep that in mind, that if you are starting off and you don't really necessarily know what you're getting yourself into, I wouldn't suggest you go ahead and like start with hair on hand, because you're going to be stuck with the large summer inventory if you do decide like, oh my god, this is not what I want to do. So it's going to be a little bit harder for you to like, just let me just go because I don't like it anymore, I'll just do something else. But you kind of gotta be like stuck with it in a sense until you actually sell the inventory that you already purchased and stuff. So just so my camera literally just shut off. It ran out of like space. I had to delete some stuff, so I don't even know where the hell I stopped at. But I think I was finishing up with the keeping hair on hand, and just like, just making sure that you know what you're getting yourself into when you do go ahead and actually start your business, and then you get like hella like a large sum of inventory. So just keep that in mind. So now we're gonna get into like the drop shipping, which is the main thing that I actually do. Now we're gonna get into the drop shipping part, which is what I mainly do. Like I said, I do both, but the drop shipping is what I do the most. And just to let you guys know, like, drop shipping gets a lot of bad rep, and it's definitely because a lot of people don't know how to do it the right way, and a lot of it has to do with like the time frame and stuff like that, and the person that's doing the drop shipping is not actually like, putting in the right information that they need to put so it can actually be a successful drop shipping type of business. Make sure you just have the right amount of information on there so it could actually make sense, and so the customer could know exactly what they're getting themselves into when it comes to purchasing. Especially with me, before I go into like the notes and then the bullet points that I do have for drop shipping, a thing that I'll say is when it comes to like, drop shipping hair, one thing that I really do that, I make sure that the customer know exactly what they're getting themselves into, is that I make sure that I put the turnaround time to a good amount of time that, I'll be able to order the hair from the vendor. I'll be able to get it and then customize it and then ship it to them in a timely manner. So in my product description on my website, next to like my units, it does have the time frame on there so they cannot miss it. Honestly, most customers don't read, but majority of the time they do, but most of them don't read. But I do make sure I put it on there, and I also put that in my policy, in my policy, so if anything, though, it kind of tells them that they did read that before they do check out, they do have to sign that they have read the terms and conditions and stuff like that. In my terms and condition, of course, I do have my time frame, and the time frame isn't like too bad. I do make sure that before I used to do 7 to I used to do 7 to 10 business days, but then I realized that still was a little bit too close to each other. So I ended up changing it not too long ago to 10 to 14 business days. And I mean, most of the time I do ship them out way before then, but it just kind of gives me a little bit more cushioning, especially when it comes to like, me getting the product from the vendor. That literally is one that takes the most time. So I want to give it enough time for it to get to me, and for me to have enough time for me to sit there and actually customize it and stuff like that. So I said a lot, but the main takeaway for this is to make sure that when it comes to like, if you do want to go through this route when it comes to doing hair, is just make sure that you have that information in there for the customer so they can know what to expect, so they're not blindsided when they're waiting 2 weeks for their unit. So the first thing that I do have for drop shipping is you won't have any upfront type. You don't need no type of upfront capital, and it basically is what it is. Like, you won't need no type of money for you to go ahead and purchase a large amount of inventory, because with drop shipping you do not have to keep any type of inventory, which I love. One, you don't have to spend too much money like upfront. Two, you might not have to like waste like on units or on sizes that people are not gonna buy. And two, just in case you are starting your business in like your room, because most of the time it's like the younger girls starting hair business and stuff like that. If you don't have like the space, like, because for you to keep inventory, you're gonna need the space to keep the inventory. So for me, like, I love that. Like, you don't have to keep no inventory, and you don't need no like big upfront capital for you to purchase like the units and stuff like that. And then secondly, of course, you don't need no large inventory, which is awesome. Like, there's no need for you to, like, I feel like at one point in time when you have like are a little bit more seasoned in the hair industry and stuff like that, and you do wanna, you have the capital to go ahead and invest in your business and keep on hand, like, you know, hair or like bundles and stuff like that, of course do that, because I do that, which I'll get into. But for the meantime, just keep that in the back of your mind. And then the third thing is, you don't have to waste any like wigs. I don't care what you say. Like, I mean, even to this day, like, all my wigs do not sell out once. I mean, eventually they do all sell out, but they don't all sell out at once. And that mainly comes into like the wig sizing. By you going through the drop shipping like, you know, method, you won't have to keep guessing sizes, because the customer is going to tell you what size they are, and you, since you don't have to do no large inventory, you won't have to guess on sizes for you to, like, you know, go ahead and purchase and stuff. So you'll basically just skip off that wasting, like, you know, money on certain, you know, wig sizes that are not gonna sell. And then lastly, what I was mentioning in the on hand one was that if you do plan on, if you don't actually like the hair industry, if you just got in it just to fill it out and you don't like it, then clearly you can go ahead and just move on. Like I said, in the on hand one, it's going to be a little bit harder for you to move on if you don't like it, because if you ordered like a large sum of inventory, you're gonna kind of like, I mean, I would think that you would sit there having to sell it first before you move on, because it's, I mean, it all depends on how much inventory you do purchase. But if you did start off with the drop shipping way, then of course you won't have any type of inventory, like, you know, with you. So if you don't like it, you can easily just, you know, go ahead and pick up and go. So that's definitely is a plus. Like I said, this is very this can definitely differ from person to person. You can honestly do on hand method, and you can do the drop shipping. It really just depend on you and what type of, like, you know, business model you want to, like, you know, go into. Like I said, me, I personally do both, and I didn't start doing both until like not too long ago, because when I did start off with the drop shipping method. Like, I did not have any inventory left on hand, and now I kind of did start keeping some on hand, and it's still a little bit different on how I do keep units on hand, because after every 2 or 3 months I do a big wig restock where I do purchase a large sum of, you know, inventory, about 30 to 40 wigs. I order about 30 to 40 wigs, and then I go ahead and I customize them, and then I put them on the site, and then, you know, people go ahead and purchase them and stuff like that. So it's and then it's, most of the time it's always like units that people have been asking me for, or it's for like a holiday and stuff like that. So I don't just randomly keep it, like, you know, on hand. And I kind of just started doing it that way because I did realize that a lot of people do like many people do like having units like on hand and stuff like that, especially if they have like special occasions and stuff like that. But I only just started doing it because, one, it's kind of like in a way of investing back in my business, because I'm taking the money that I've already made, like profit wise and stuff like that, and I'm just going to go ahead and just invest it back in the business, just to, you know, curate more money, if that makes sense. So I know this video was a little bit all over the place, and I kept, like, you know, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that I forgot something in this video, because I'm always forgetting something. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions about anything that I said. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, and we can go ahead and chat it up, and I can answer your questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.